Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and on this channel I'm sharing our journey of learning how to turn our home into a homestead. Today we're just going to be doing a bunch of stuff around the homestead. I want to show you the seed starts that we have here first. So these are the ones that just the other day we had them in the garage and they were just getting tore up in there, and then I had to replant them, remember? So everything, this is all the kind of leafy green type things, the kales, the cabbages, lettuce, all that stuff. And then these are the beans. This is what got kind of tore up. This happened overnight. These are the Cherokee Trail of Tears. They don't look like Trail of Tears. Did I mark them wrong? They look like Cisco. Well, we're gonna find out, aren't we? Okay. Maybe they turn like tiger bean. Anyways. Royalty purple. We got some of these popping up. These are all pretty fresh. They started yesterday. No, they started the day before. These are the Chinese red noodle beans, Kentucky Wonder pole bean, and the Taiwan yardlock. Those ones are doing fantastic. There was nothing here yesterday, so this all came overnight. Same thing with down here. I need to get a light. There was nothing here yesterday. These are the Henderson lima bean bush. Nothing here yet. Well, I take that back. There's an upside down bean. Dang it, I put it upside down. Hopefully it'll find its way up. Maybe I should fix that. But then yeah, all these guys are doing wonderfully. Not quite as much leaning since I lowered the light, so I think that was the right move, and it still seems to be more than enough to cover these guys. It's early in the morning, so we're gonna go ahead and get kind of our early morning list of chores to do outside finished before we do anything inside. Yesterday was 106.7 at 6:20 something in the evening, so it's been a scorcher. But so the first thing we have to do is tend to the ducks and the chickens, of course. Got a little work on that compost thing done yesterday, but not much. I just had this crazy thought. Tell me if it's crazy or not. Okay, so I got the chickens, and the chickens are here, then 2 cages of ducks. They each have their pool. I drain it and clean it every day. How crazy would it be to come up with some kind of, obviously not my own siphon, but a different way to siphon the water out of their pools onto my garden? Like, because I know they have cold poo, so it wouldn't be too heavy on the nitrogen and it wouldn't burn my plants, but like, I feel bad just dumping it on the ground because I'm never going to do anything with what's in there, at least not right now. Once there's hay and stuff in there, sure. But like, do y'all have any ideas of how I could figure out how to do that? I mean, you can see my garden, it's way off there. It's got to be 100 feet, probably a little bit more than 100 feet for this garden. And then there's, of course, the one that's up by my kitchen, and that one's even way further away. But I'm kind of curious. Or I could even siphon it onto my compost, and then at least it would be going to be good use. Ideas. I wonder what I'm going to do. My original plan was to water the garden, but looking at the forecast, it has changed since last night, and today is not supposed to be as hot as it was yesterday. It's only a high of 90. Sorry, it's a high of 90 at 5 o'clock. So I'm gonna go ahead and not do that. And it also says it's supposed to start raining here in about an hour. So let's get to a compost bin because I want to finish that today. You can see I kind of laid it out where it's gonna be. I'm missing a couple of the actual sections for it. I'm thinking this is gonna be the round one, and we're gonna flip it into the second one, and then that'll be finished. My reason for doing it in that order is that if we do end up having a lot of finished compost, I can add on a 4th or a 5th one next to that animal pen right there, and it'll be fine. And that's also closer to the garden. It just, to me, it made sense for the flow because the compost is also going to be coming out of here a lot, as well as up here and coming kind of around. So it just made the most sense. So Yes, hardware cloth. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cover these slats with hardware cloth. That was one thing that I noticed with my other pallet compost system that I had at my other house, was that it liked to fall through the slats a lot. So we're gonna cover the slats. We're gonna make them only the size of chicken wire, so only the teeny tiny stuff will be able to slip out, and only some of it, not a lot of it. Hopefully that'll help kind of stave off the Oh no. How did you survive? So we're pretty much done with this particular bay of the compost. This is the only one we need right now. I have one more pallet left that I can do kind of the backing of the next one. I'll need another piece that'll come out over here. I have a bunch of like old rusty kind of chicken wire that was left behind by the previous owners. And so I just cut it up and put it on here. And then the pieces here that are gonna run like both sides of the wall, I put this on both sides. So that way both sides will be protected. And then you saw the end there, I just screwed in the pieces on the sides. I'm gonna come through and put more bracing, whether that be like a wood board or T-post or something like that. I'm gonna come through and reinforce this thing, but for now, this will be just fine. Pretty sure it's been a week since we left our pickles to ferment, and so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna give these another taste test. The bubbles have kind of died down. There's nothing funky going on here. So let's see what we got. We got this little guy. Still crunchy. That's got some heat to it. Ooh, I love it. Got a winner. I'm gonna do this again. Today, actually. Because I have 2 pounds of this. I have 2 pints of this in the fridge that I need to take care of. I'm so excited. This is gonna be my snack today. I don't think that I told you guys what I actually did. I did a teaspoon of dill weed, of the dried dill weed. I did a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, a half a teaspoon of garlic, and a half a teaspoon of onion. I don't think I put any cayenne. I might have put some cayenne in there too. I need to go edit, drink some coffee, and I have a friend coming to pick me up that I met at the farmer's market. She's like a neighbor. She lives, a few miles down the road, and she's gonna take me to where she gets her eggs. So we're gonna get some good pasture-raised eggs straight from the farm. Hey, sorry if you guys can hear the dryer in the background. It's live, but I've realized that I wanted to show you guys kind of how I use fermented foods in my everyday life. Basically, yesterday I made up a smoothie with some peaches and just some of my homemade raw milk yogurt. And I'm having leftovers. I made yesterday, I did an egg scramble sort of thing with just some eggs, zucchini, kale, tomatoes. And so I didn't finish it, so I'm having the leftovers of breakfast yesterday. And just putting pickles on top of it. This thing is fermented also, so we're just doing all the things to try and improve gut health.